Minecraft speedrunners have mastered the art of getting from point A to point B to the exit portal as fast as possible. But there's so much to do in Minecraft that, for many players, it's more about the journey. Villager trading, respawn anchors, iron golems, just stopping to smell the flowers. We find joy spending months, even years in our worlds, exploring every unique facet of the game. So, what if I told you there was a player who could do all that in less than 6 hours? Elisaku is not your typical Minecraft speedrunner. He specializes in all advancement runs, a category so grueling and so time consuming that the total number of submissions can be counted on your fingers. Some advancements come easily, like this first one, Stone Age, but many of them were designed to be completed over a very long period of time and require a complex process of gathering rare objects. Planning is key, because one small mistake or forgotten item and you might have no choice but to reset, wiping out hours of work. And even if everything goes perfectly on your end, these runs have a huge RNG factor. But Elisaku has taken this ludicrously difficult category and optimized it to the extreme. Runs that once took Illumina, quite possibly the greatest speedrunner Minecraft has ever known, 14 hours, are now something Elisaku can do in less than half that time. Every run is different and strategies have to be changed on the fly depending on what the seed is like, but the overall plan usually looks something like this. You head to the end, kill the dragon, and then get an elytra and gear from the end cities to fly around the world. Some advancements require you to visit every biome or breed every mob, for example, so most of the time is spent exploring. As you travel, you gather gold blocks for a future beacon and do tons of other tasks for advancements whenever the opportunity presents itself. Toward the end, when you've gathered all the random potion ingredients and whatnot, you can go for the how did we get here advancement, every status effect at once. As we get into it, this guy is a true master of the game, super great dude, and puts an insane amount of effort into every single run, so if you're watching this, the very least you can do is go follow his Twitch. The link is in the description. Do it. Santa's watching. Anyway, first step is go to the end, so at this point the run plays out more or less like a normal speedrun. Elisaku heads for a village where he acquires hardware, gets the Iron Pickaxe achievement, and picks up some beds for the dragon fight. Next up, he finds a desert temple. He gets the Diamonds achievement from the loot, but more importantly, he finds an enchanted golden apple. As you probably know, these are pretty rare, and they're needed for the balanced diet where you eat all foods, so it's good to get it sooner rather than later. The gunpowder is going to be useful for fireworks. Unlike normal speedruns, pretty much any item you find comes in handy eventually. Overall, Elisaku's off to a good start. The spawn location, right between the rare mesa and jungle, gives a head start on visiting every biome. After a bit of searching, Elisaku finds a lava pool, getting hot stuff while building the portal, and enters the nether, getting we need to go deeper. In a stroke of luck, he's right next to a fortress, so he fights some blazes and comes out with rods and 2 snazzy new achievements. One for using a shield, and one, of course, for getting blaze rods. It takes a while to travel to the Bastion, but because he needs to visit all nether biomes at some point anyway for the achievement, it's not a big deal. With this in mind, he doesn't even bother using F3. He mines some gold and trades for pearls, but the piglins generously give some crying obsidian too for who is cutting onions. Elisaku loots a chest for the War Pigs achievement and finds some obsidian inside, enough for Ice Bucket Challenge. The golden apples are good for breeding horses, curing zombie villagers, and just as a food source. He puts on some sick new iron boots for suit up and heads out. Elisaku stops to mine some glowstone and craft a respawn anchor with it for the not quite 9 lives achievement just before heading back to the overworld. He tries unsuccessfully to get a trident from a drowned on the way to the portal room, something that'll be happening a lot considering only 1 in 16 drowned have tridents and only 8.5% of those actually drop it. Soon enough, the eyes lead him to an ocean-exposed stronghold. A little less than 40 minutes into the run, it's time for the end. Using a crossbow from the Bastion to shoot the end crystals, he gets the Old Betsy achievement, and then a few seconds later he bottles some dragon breath for You Need a Mint. I've never heard of anyone who actually uses dragon breath for anything, but it does get the achievement. You know, come to think of it, there aren't even any mints in Minecraft. Well, I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Hitting the dragon with an arrow gets him take aim, and soon enough the dragon perches. Elisaku can't complete the one cycle just because of a lack of beds, but he still slays the dragon relatively quickly, freeing the end and collecting the dragon egg. The huge XP drop will be super helpful for enchanting later. With that, he portals out to the End Islands and heads for the closest city. Just over 43 minutes into the run, he has an elytra and his first piece of diamond armor. This will make looting the rest of the end cities a breeze. He crafts some fireworks, and a few stops later he's got ender chests, shulker boxes, a second set of elytra, and full diamond armor. Pretty much full endgame gear less than an hour in. That's faster than our friend Chris gets his, and he cheats. With shulker boxes to carry all the random items and diamond armor to upgrade to Netherite, Elisaku's ready for the rest of his run. He'll be back eventually, but for now, he gets the great view from up here advancement, where a shulker makes you levitate 50 blocks up from the ground, and heads back to the overworld. He grabs some bookshelves for a future enchanting setup and steals the gold blocks from an ocean monument while he searches for new mobs and biomes. As he flies along, he dives into the water searching for drowned. Elisaku finds some pandas, rare even in jungles, and breeds them with some bamboo for the parrots and the bats achievement. He also takes a break to feed his cat. There was nothing on the Minecraft wiki about whether this counts for the Taming All Cats achievement, so he might as well do it to be safe. Coming across a field, he crafts a hoe and plants some wheat for the A Seedy Place achievement. Then he flies over a mushroom island, which is super helpful in the quest to visit all biomes because it's by far the rarest in the game. For a few minutes, Elisaku goes on a caving trip, getting some lapis lazuli for enchanting, and then heads back to a village he found earlier. He constructs a full enchanting setup, getting looting for his sword and piercing for the crossbow. Then he steals a farmer's wheat and then sells it back to him for emeralds. Pretty unfair if you ask me, for the What a Deal achievement. And after that, traps a librarian in an underground pit just to get a mending book. After that PR nightmare, Elisaku attempts to rebuild his reputation in the village by giving fish to local cats for the Best Friends Forever achievement. Flying away from the village, Elisaku finds a mega taiga, which isn't particularly helpful, but at the very least is one less biome to find. He stops at another ocean monument to mine gold for the beacon because he does need 164 blocks of the stuff, and then comes across a swamp, where he's able to find a slime and kill it. Elisaku arrives at yet another village and tames the last few cat variants he needs, including one that looks just like Garfield.
I eat, John. It's what I do.
For the A Complete Catalog achievement. Finding a forest, he breeds some wolves and llamas, and then pauses the game to do some push-ups. Speedrunners are famous not only for their unparalleled gaming prowess and rapping skills, but also for being totally jacked. And, of course, Elisaku is no exception. After countless attempts, Elisaku finally gets a trident from a drown 2 hours and 18 minutes into the run. Later he finds an igloo, but unfortunately discovers there's no basement. Igloo basements have a zombie villager, a golden apple, and a potion of weakness, which would have made the zombie doctor achievement super easy and saved a couple of minutes. He gets gold from yet another monument, and then finally finds a warm ocean, which is the last biome he needs besides the bamboo jungle. He knows there's a bamboo jungle at spawn that he just hasn't entered yet, so finishing the achievement will be easy. He breeds some donkeys with golden apples and gets some more gold from a monument. Then he uses a treasure map from a shipwreck to find a Heart of the Sea, which, plus those 8 shells for earlier, crafts a conduit. Moments later, Elisaku lures 5 different types of animals into a 1x1 pit, getting their health down to a minimum, then kills them all with one piercing crossbow shot for one of the more bizarre achievements, Arbalistic. Now he gets to a village and collects 2 more of the archery achievements. He hits a target block for bullseye, and then shoots a skeleton from over 50 blocks away for sniper duel. For the rest of the night, he gathers some more gunpowder for fireworks. We're about 3 hours into this run, and at this point you can really start to see the mental toll it takes on the player. Halfway through, and Elisaku is already having conversations with villagers.
You have a bad day today? Girlfriend break up with you? It's okay, man. We all have those days, my guy. We all have those days.
Anyway, he heads back to the Nether and hits a fireball back at Aghast for return to sender. Then he builds a massive Nether portal and pulls Aghast in with a fishing rod to try for the Uneasy Alliance achievement. Though he made the overworld portal bigger than normal to try to prevent this from happening, the gas suffocates in the portal, so he has to try again for the achievement, eventually finding success. He flies around the Nether looking for gold blocks and bastions, and picks up hot tourist destinations by entering a warp forest. Now he has to go back to the overworld again to restock on fireworks. He shoots 2 phantoms with 1 crossbow shot for an achievement, and then catches a fish for another one. Back in the Nether, he has to tower up to get away from hoglins during a breeding attempt gone awry. For some reason they hate him, even though he only eats bread, not pork chops. After flying around for a bit, he finds a good fortress to farm wither skulls. This particular fortress is ideal because of its location in a soul sand valley. Few mobs spawn in the surroundings, meaning room for more wither skeletons in the fortress itself. He gets his first skull pretty quickly thanks to the looting on his sword, and just about 5 minutes later he's got all 3. Now it's time for some netherite mining. He quickly sets a compass to a lodestone for the achievement and then gets to work. The process shouldn't be too tough, mainly because Elisaku can use all the TNT he's amassed from temples to mine. Because only 1 vein of ancient debris can usually generate per chunk, mining along the chunk border gives him a chance to expose more debris than he otherwise could. If he doesn't find enough netherite here, he'll probably need to reset, but that won't be a problem this time as he picks up the Hidden in the Depths achievement and then sets off his TNT to find the rest. Elisaku brings a hoglin to the overworld so that it turns into a zoglin. He can kill it for monsters hunted, and then it's right back to the Nether. He'll need to brew tons of potions for How Did We Get Here later on, so he grabs netherwort and some more blaze rods from a fortress. He takes a ride on a strider, for this boat has legs, and about a minute later distracts an attacking piglin with gold for Oh Shiny, an achievement he surprisingly hadn't gotten yet. Elisaku heads back to the overworld 30 minutes ahead of his normal pace. The bamboo jungle is the last biome he hasn't visited, so as he passes through, he gets adventuring time. Now it's time to fight the Wither, although maybe fight isn't quite the right word. Elisaku's gonna go to the end, build the Wither underneath the exit portal with the skulls he got earlier, and get it stuck in the bedrock while he spam clicks it to death. Not the most dignified fight, but it works. Who I really feel bad for is the fish that Elisaku picked up earlier. It got him the tactical fishing achievement, but now it's going to be sacrificed to the Wither to get a Wither Rose. This'll give him the Wither effect during How Did We Get Here? Once the fight is over, Elisaku takes the Nether Star and heads to the Outer Islands. How Did We Get Here truly requires every status effect you can get in the game, so that means taking a shulker all the way back to the overworld for levitation.
California, here we come! Dinoco, here we come.
When you push a shulker through the exit portal, it doesn't end up at your spawn point, but rather at the 0-0 coordinates. With this in mind, Elisaku leaves the shulker in the end while he goes back and builds a little platform for it to teleport to. At this point, the run is on world record pace by far. The big thing he's waiting for is a thunderstorm so he can use his channeling trident to strike a villager with lightning. He quickly goes back to the end and takes the shulker through the portal, and then heads off on his way to eat all the foods and breed all the mobs that he hasn't yet. In the jungle, he breeds 2 ocelots, and in a village a few minutes later, he harvests some carrots to feed himself and some animals with. He makes a family of rabbits, and then kills them all for food before you can say, holy cow, that's messed up. One cool thing about All Advancements is that, because of how long the runs are, you've got a little bit of wiggle room for creativity. PBs don't come down to fractions of seconds, so obviously you still try your best, but your movements don't need to be as precise, and you don't have to be laser focused the whole time.
Oh, Satisfying. Okay, chat, who the hell is CFY? My subconscious knows what I'm doing. I don't really know what I'm doing.
Elisaku tells me being able to explore the game and talk with chat turns a seemingly monotonous grind into something that's really a lot of fun. Elisaku makes one last trip to the Nether to gather gold blocks from bastions. They've been a bit hard to find this run, but at this point he has almost all of the 164 blocks he needs for a fully charged beacon. He'll have to use the iron blocks he was saving to build a golem to fill in the rest, and postpone getting the hired help achievement until later. Back in the overworld, Elisaku finds yet another village and tries unsuccessfully to trap and cure a zombie villager. Even though there's a rainstorm going on all around, he forgot that it never actually rains in Savannah Biome, so unfortunately, the zombie starts burning to death. He needs to kill a zombie villager anyway for Monsters Hunted, so it's not a big setback. Then, something awesome happens. That rainstorm becomes a lightning storm, and that means, finally, Elisaku can throw his channeling trident at a villager to get the achievement very, very frightening. Strike a villager with lightning. For legal reasons, we have to tell you that lightning does not actually turn people into witches. Elisaku uses some downtime while he tries to cure another zombie to brew potions for How Did We Get Here. Luckily, this time the cure is successful, more or less. He got the zombie doctor achievement, which is all that really matters, but the newly cured villager just gets zombified again seconds later. Oh, they probably deserved it. Elisaku farms some more gunpowder for fireworks, and then does something we haven't seen all run long. He sleeps. Because so many of the advancements involve phantoms, sleeping would have made getting them impossible. What's more, sleeping resets the timer that determines when thunderstorms occur, and, of course, you can only kill creepers for gunpowder at night. At this point, he's taken care of all that stuff, so it's a lot easier to just skip the night and all the inconvenience that comes with it. After waking up, he finally upgrades his diamond gear to Netherite, getting the serious dedication and cover me in debris advancements. Then he gets the Be Our Guest advancement by harvesting honey from one of the hives he collected, and the total bee location advancement by silk touching a beehive with 3 bees inside. That's 2 new advancements, and it's all thanks to these feisty felines.
Dad, feline means cat.
At this point, it's clear that Elisaku isn't quite gonna have enough blocks to finish the beacon. Going to the Nether again would be pretty time-consuming, so he does the next best thing, which is go to the nearest village, steal some wheat with his sick new netherite hoe, and trade it all for emeralds to craft into blocks. Elisaku breeds 2 horses, the last animal on the list for the 2x2 achievement, and then a few minutes later slides down the side of a honey block for Sticky Situation. He flies back to spawn through the Nether and completes the full-size beacon for How Did We Get Here status effects, not to mention the Beaconator and Bring Home the Beacon advancements. After this, Elisaku starts setting up the rest of the How Did We Get Here apparatus. I assure you, I know exactly how to build it, and how to use it, and how every part of it works, but I'm not going to explain it all in this video because I wouldn't be able to dumb it down for a layman. Anyway, I assure you it's not because I'm bad at redstone, or because I have absolutely no idea what half the stuff even does. It's just because all my knowledge would go way over your peasant heads. Anyway, Elisaku sets it all up, including a conduit. He's got the potions, the food, everything except a few status effects. For those, he'll have to start a raid. He flies over to a pillager outpost and kills the patrol leader with a crossbow for the bad omen effect, getting Who's the Pillager Now and Voluntary Exile. Entering the nearest village, he shelters some of the residents underground, and the attack begins. First he kills the Iron Golem? Golems are definitely good at fighting off raids, but maybe they're a little too effective. If the golem were left alive, it might attack the evokers or the ravagers, stealing Elisaku's kill for Monsters Hunted. After dispatching the golem, the raid goes pretty smoothly, and Elisaku is awarded the Hero of the Village effect. Because the bad omen effect disappears once a raid starts, He has to stop at the pillager outpost on the way back to get it again. Lastly, Elisaku visits the nearby ocean monument and kills the Elder Guardian, which was not only the last mob on his Monsters Hunted hit list, but also gave him the mining fatigue effect. Now there's just one effect to go, and who else would show up to help out with it than the very creature that has helped humankind so much over the years, the dolphin. Elisaku brings it back to spawn with a lead, where it gives off the Dolphin's Grace status effect. Now, it's crunch time. He's only got one enchanted golden apple, so that means Elisaku has just one shot at How Did We Get Here, perhaps the toughest accomplishment in all of the Minecraft progression. Eating the golden apple, suspicious stew, and pufferfish finish off the balanced diet achievement, while the splash potions being sprayed from the dispensers complete a furious concoction. Combined with all those other status effects from the shulker and the beacon and more, it's enough for the 5 greatest words in the English language to appear on screen. How did we get here? The name implies some freak accident of random chance, a crazy 1 in a million event where you're left wondering what hit you. It doesn't really tell the story of Elisaku's meticulous planning and unparalleled skill, how the All Advancements community took a speedrun category that could have been up to luck and boiled it down to a science. From here on out, it's smooth sailing. Elisaku waits for the slow falling effect to wear off so he can use his totem of undying for post-mortal. He builds a golem for hired help, then enters the end. He places 4 crystals atop the exit portal, and as he watches the dragon respawn above him, he takes 3 cobblestone blocks, 2 wooden sticks, and crafts a pickaxe, getting an upgrade. With a retime, that's every advancement in 5 hours, 51 minutes, 45 seconds. Enough, by far, for the world record. Elisaku says he's very satisfied with the sub-6 run. He might try to improve it in the future, but for now, he's focusing on getting a sub-7 hour time in 1.17. Yeah, he already has the record. But speedrunning, especially for Elisaku, is about more than just getting the top times. It's about enjoying the journey. In a few months, we'll probably get to see him try his hand at 1.18's advancements, with Wardens and New World Generation adding a challenge. Maybe he'll go back to 1.12 or 1.13 at some point, where every run revolves around finding a woodland mansion. Whatever version you play, All Advancements is without a doubt one of Minecraft's coolest speedrun categories. A big thank you to Elisaku and Deadpool for answering some of our questions about the category. And if you like the video, please remember to give Elisaku a follow on Twitch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.